Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Amahle Kevani and this is another episode of Ama Discussions. This is season 2, and the theme for season 2 is Black Girl Joy. And the reason why I wanted to speak about this is because I realized that a lot of people are very allergic to black girls being happy, and they don't realize that they have this allergy. But I think because of how the systems in the world operate on the exploitation of women, of black people, and of course, of black women, whenever black women are happy, that is the direct resistance to the expectation of exploitation from these systems, right? And it's not even just about being happy, but I think it's about even resisting, settling for certain situations, because other people want you to be happy, but they want you to be happy with being exploited. They want you to be happy with whatever circumstance they feel that you deserve. And I feel like as a black girl, you're supposed to live your life like you're just someone's accompaniment, like you're just ukaphile batho. Wabona? You can't just live life as a main character because people actually get mad. And I noticed that because it's not that I've made a concerted effort to be the main character of my life. It's just that's how I was born. That's how I was raised, that, this is my life. And I have a whole community of people living with me. And I'm also in other people's lives as a part of their community, right? And at the same time, I must live my life to the fullest. And that's something else I wanted to speak about, because a lot of people speak about like soft life and they'll be like, oh, I want to live the soft life. I want to live the soft life. Then when you ask a black girl what the definition of a soft life is, it's literally just living life. Like they'll be like, I want a soft life. And they'll be like, I just want to be comfortable. Girl, that's literally the bare minimum. That's, and that's when I realized that the standard of living for black women, and I'm not talking about it in economic, political terms, I'm not talking about that type of standard of living, but what we are used to, what we're accustomed to, is just being treated in such uncomfortable ways, being, put in very uncomfortable situations to a point where when we want to define the life that we want for ourselves, even asking for comfort seems exceptional. Asking for comfort seems like, ooh, out of the ordinary. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why I haven't been making podcast episodes very consistently is because I just really have not been in the mood of speaking about politics, right? Or politics that require me to induce a lot of anger and sadness and depression in myself. And I don't use the word depression lightly. I use it very deliberately because it is depressing to talk about politics, and it should be depressing to talk about the politics that govern our worlds, our countries, black people all over the world, because it's not something that is a particularly happy time. You don't speak about politics and you're like, yay, whoop-de-woo, like black people struggle. No, that's not how you talk about it. But for me, I was drowning in the constant expectation that I must always be mad and that I must always be sad about everyone else's situation. And when I realized that a lot of the people that black women were fighting for are people that are more than ready to dig our graves for their convenience, I was like, oh, maybe I should reassess how I spend my energy. Because again, even activism or like this depiction of black women as saviors, this depiction of black women as like people that are just always going to be there for you, it plays into the mammy stereotype from colonialism, right? And so, or in South Africa, the maid, right? So in the US, in American intellectual fields or like in American academics, they always speak about the mammy stereotype. And then in South Africa, we have this very big film that I think a lot of historians know about. It's called The Maid. The Maid and Kimang, let me check it because I had to write an essay about it. The Maid holds on. But anyway, so the mammy and the maid stereotype is just about, oh, the black woman is always there to cook for the more powerful people in whatever situation. They're always there to be the mammy. They're always there to be the maid. They're always there to be the saviors in whatever situation, right? And that's when people are comfortable in our presence, when we're making them comfortable. And it's so funny that even within the natural hair movement, within different spaces that were created for the safety and the comfort of Black women at the end of the day always have to find themselves making other people comfortable and making ourselves feel unsafe in spaces that were built for our safety. And so it shows that even in activist spaces, people have no regard for Black women's like comforts. They have no regard for Black women's energy. They just want to take. And when you are resisting that need to be taken from, when you are resisting that whole thing of, okay, guys, I can't always be educating you, like I can't always be on, people will be like, but that's your job. But who said that was my job, right? And I think even with my TikTok page right now, like whenever I speak about or whenever I just speak about my life, like you see, I was in Paris not so long ago, and a lot of people actually express disgust, disappointment. Sorry, I'm looking for my essays. Madams and maids and madams. Yes, that's what the thing was called. So in South Africa, it's maids, right? And then in the US, it's like the mammy stereotype. But anyway, so I was in Paris and I was looking at a lot of the comments on my page, and every time I travel to a place, it's either people are angry, especially if it looks like a soft place. Like when I was in Kenya, you know, I was romanticizing my life. When I was in Paris, of course, I was romanticizing my life, right? And it was like a lot of people be like, well, anyway, it's cheap to travel, da da da. Or yes, it was cheap to travel to Paris. The flight was cheap. Or when I was in Kenya, it's like, oh, like you probably just got this through someone else's money, right? It's always that people are trying to rationalize how I'm able to buy these experiences for myself, and that they rationalize it by giving another person credit, a person that they do not know. Or even another time when I think I hadn't really disclosed that I study overseas, but then I'd always get comments about like, oh, why are you always traveling to the US? Do you have a Nigerian man? I'm joking. What do you know how hard I work to be able to afford a ticket to come back and visit South Africa, only for you guys or for a lot of people to imagine some imaginary Nigerian man paying for my ticket? And even if I wasn't struggling for this money, why is it that whenever South African girls, Black South African girls, are able to live a comfortable life, I don't even want to call it a soft life, because soft life, you know, when we say soft life, we're literally just talking about normal lives. We're speaking about the bare minimum. Like we'll be like, oh, I want to be comfortable, or I want to have all these things that make life convenient. Those aren't even conveniences. Like those are things that we're supposed to have every day, but because we're Black women, we aren't afforded that privilege, right? But anyway, when people see you living like just a normal, comfortable, dandy life as a Black girl, people can't rationalize that your parents or your family is paying for that. It must always be some exceptional circumstance. And it's like, why does Black girl softness have to be exceptional? Can't it be normal? Why can't Black girls being happy be an ordinary experience? Why does it have to be extraordinary? This is no ordinary love. What? No ordinary love. And this is part of the reason why I don't talk about politics a lot, because it's like, I don't talk about them a lot anymore on my page, because it's like, why would I do that? Like people were feeding off of that negative, that sadness that I have about the situation in South Africa, and people were getting joy from that. And I don't think that people realized that they were getting joy from my anger. But then once I started to sit down and look at my DMs and see like, oh, you're supposed to speak about this, oh, I'd be happy if you spoke about this. And it's like, you get this instant gratification, this joy from seeing me morosed on my screen, from seeing me or hearing my voice break as I speak about inequality in the country. You're not absorbing what I'm saying, right? And people will say you've never spoken about this issue. But I remember seeing their comment in another video where I was speaking about that same issue. And my thing is, I'm not a parrot. Like, what's parrot in this Xhosa? Let's Google Translate. Google Translate. I'm not a parrot. If I was born to be a parrot, trust me, I would have been a parrot. I'd be like, gong, 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 repeating everything that everyone was saying. But I do not repeat myself anymore. I don't like to do that because, like, why would I do that? Why? You know? Like, that's why if people will be like, oh, you haven't spoken about this specific South African issue, I can assure you that I've probably spoken about almost every South African issue under the sun. I think the only one I just haven't really spoken about is, what's this one called? Ethno-nationalism. I even spoke about that, but I haven't spoken about it in depth. Like, ethno-nationalism being tribalism, right? Isikwenene. That's what a parrot is in Xhosa. Thank you, Google. Right? So why must I always repeat myself for people that aren't listening? And do you know, as a Black woman, like, when you're in this world, like, you're not being listened to. So why would I voluntarily, again, put myself in situations where I'm not being listened to, where people are just, just absorbing my anger for their own pleasure, but they're not absorbing my words. They're not really listening to what I'm saying. And that's also what I realized with my other comments. Let's say if I make a longer form video, a lot of people will only hear the first part. Like, there was a video about the manichaeistic society that we live in that I made about that, the fact that we shouldn't see Mandela and Malcolm X versus Mandela and Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X and Steve Biko as just a binary, because even seeing those people as either or, as good or bad, is a symptom of the manichaeistic society that colonialism has, conditioned us to be. And manichaeism is like the whole thing of seeing things as either good or bad. What's this? Good or evil, ugly or beautiful. And for Mandela, I will say, because he was known as an abuser, that, like, I wasn't speaking about that. I think I even forgot that someone had come out and spoken about Mandela beating on his first wife. And then there was another one, even Martin Luther King, I'd even forgotten about the allegations that people had put against what he apparently allegedly did to Coretta Scott King. But what I was speaking about is like how, anyway, let me not get into that. But I did make a video and people only listened to the first part. You didn't listen to the whole video. You didn't listen. And it's so frustrating to not be listened to. And I was constantly like, oh my word, I'm not being listened to. And I'd constantly make political videos. And then at the end of the week, I look at the comments and I'm like, I'm not being listened to. So I just decided, like, why would I continue? Like, it's like what Albert Einstein said. He said, insanity is doing something the same way over and over again and then expecting a different result. Right? I'm making political videos over and over again. I'm thinking that people are listening to me. Even the people that think they're listening to me aren't completely listening to me. And then I expect a specific result by doing the same thing like this. It's like nothing's gonna change. And I do understand that people have been inspired by my political videos. My political videos are still up there, and I'm still a very political person, as you can hear. Right now, I'm just also focused on, like, putting energy into things that also fulfill me. Because how am I going to pour into my community? Let's not even lie. It's not even about pouring into community, because even that, as a Black girl, why do you feel the urge to justify why you're making a choice for yourself by saying, oh, when I make this choice for myself, it's going to benefit my whole community? No, we don't always have to justify things like that, do we? Literally, I'm making this choice because, guys, and I'm looking, time is flying. Number one, I'm already in my junior year. of college, like junior. You know, you have 30 minutes, 30. And I'm looking at how I've prioritized my platform and making people who make a concerted effort to misunderstand me. And I'm looking at how I've prioritized their opinions over the relationships that I'm supposed to be minding in my life. There's a friendship that I didn't even see was a friendship until that person needed me to show up for them. And I was just like, oh, I don't think that person sees me as a friend. And I wasn't able to show up for them because I didn't know that they regarded me as their friend. But that's because I hadn't taken time to look at the people that were giving me joy around me. You bring me joy when I'm down. Da, da, da. Do you know that Anita Baker song? When I'm losing my mind, your eye keeps shining on me. I saw your face. Anyway, yeah, and that person needed me to be there for them, and I only realized like 3 months down the line that, oh, like, because people were like, oh, that's your friend. I was like, are they? For real? And then now I'm looking back, I'm like, if I had given time to reflect, you know. Sorry, I was just checking if it was still recording. If I had given time to reflect, to sit down and be like, okay, that is my friend. The things that we're doing are friendship things. Like, also, because of social media, I think my relationship with people is just so warped. And I wasn't, like, let me tell you, I'm so glad that the South African election happened the way that it happened, because I think it took that for me to realize that, you know, there was that Dr. Umar video, let me find it on YouTube, where he says, you know, I'm not gonna be able to save the boys on the corner. Some of them need to be put down. For God. Yeah. Not that people need to be put down, but there's certain people that I just, you know, and why am I saving people? Who do I think I am? Can you be my Superman? Listen, like, why do I have to save people? And people be like, this is such a selfish thing that you're saying. It's so selfish. I'm joking. But I've also been thinking about Toni Morrison and all these people. Andre, yay. Audre Lorde. Who else am I reading? Frantz Fanon. Zora Neale Hurston, Bell Hooks. I'm gonna be all about love. I'm all about love right now. Like, all about love, all about pouring into my surroundings, actually making tangible change in my communities. Because I also feel like always speaking about things on social media, like, it gave me that comfort of, oh, at least I'm speaking about it, you know. And then I haven't been doing a lot of work, as much work in the implementation thing, you know, because I used to write policies. I used to be outside, okay? But now I'm focusing more on that because I think my energy is more useful in that regard. I've spoken about these issues and the kids can find my videos. Like, it's not like I'm going to change now, but it is important for me as a Black girl to choose my joy. And subsequently, yes, as a consequence of choosing my joy, I'm resisting these systems. And I'm not choosing my joy deliberately so I can resist the systems. Like, no, I'm choosing it because I also deserve to be happy, you know? That's what I deserve. I want to be happy. Why won't you let me? What does Mary J. Blige say? Yeah, I'm just choosing my joy because, oh, here it is.
But I want to be clear. I know some of us love our children, but some of our children are so far gone that we're going to have to put some of them to sleep in order to take back the neighborhood. Some of y'all don't want to hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep for good. But I want to be...
Anyway, some of them going to sleep for good. You bring me joy. Anyway, so how am I choosing joy? Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. That's my favorite Christmas carol. Let everyone prepare him room. Listen, sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and ultra sing. Anyway, let's take these stickers off my laptop also. But how am I choosing joy, bro? I don't know. Just living life, man. Like, is it so bad to live life? You know, it's not bad. Like, life is good. I'm also focusing on my relationships, on my friendships. Like, when my friends call while I'm doing a TikTok, I'm gonna prioritize answering the call, because usually I used to drop their calls. And I'm gonna build a lot more friendships. I've been messaging people like, I think we need to meet up. Hello, you know. So I'm on that type of thing now, because yeah, I also Black Girl Joy is so diverse. And I've been doing this political thing since I was like 12. As a result of it, I didn't have teenagehood. I didn't have like a childhood. I never went out. Like, when people ask me, when you're at Joburg, where do you go? And I'm like, ooh, the Great Hall, the South African Institute of International Affairs headquarters. I don't know. Like, that's where I go. Like, I never went out. I never had a childhood, because I was so, you know, engulfed by political matters, which wasn't bad. Like, but I do envy the people that found politics only now. You know, people be like, oh my word, I'm okay, like, you're so right in high school. I don't know. It's the knowledge that chose me. I think these books they were going to find me, and my family is a very political family. So there was no way that I was going to ignore those politics. But right now I'm also trying to find a balance of like living my life, being happy, and not being controlled by other people's expectations. Because in as much as other people expect me to be engulfed in politics, are they always engulfed in politics? Are they right? Because now that I'm like, not that I'm stepping away from political communities, like, that is something I can't do, bro. Like, for my conscience, I can't do that. Like, I've kept up with the politics. People think that just because you're not speaking about them, it means you're not keeping up. I am keeping up with the Kardashians, okay? But like, there's certain people, and I'm like, oh, are you okay? Like, because these topics think I'll stand. That's why I get so fit. Walter Rodney, I don't think it will fit. Shame, I don't think I'll ever finish. What's this? How Europe underdeveloped Africa. You see, Richard of the Earth, light work. I've read chapters of Richard of the Earth in like such dysfunctional orders and haven't finished it. But it's light work. I know I can finish that book in 2 days, right? Even if it's a heavy book. But the book that I don't think I even want to touch. Like, I read one chapter and I was just morosed. I love that word. I love the word morosed. But I was just like not okay for a very long time. That was how Europe underdeveloped Africa, because it's like, shucks, abelu, you know. Anyway, and also when people get mad at like Black girls for choosing happiness, they must introspect now. But why are you mad? Why are you mad? People, it's not even that people will get mad at me for being like, oh, okay, I'm just taking a quick step back. No, they won't be mad, because they're like, oh no, you have to, you know, always be aware of politics. I will always be aware of the politics. I will always read. I'm subscribed to I'm subscribed to News 24. I pay for a New York Times subscription. I'm always keeping up with TikTok and stuff, you know. But then other people just, they genuinely want you to always be mad because that's the only, you know, perspective or understanding they have of the ideal black woman. Always be in a state of unhappiness. Always be trying to fight for someone, trying to fight for someone's comfort, right? No one's fighting for our comfort. No one's looking over to see if we're okay, you know? And even when, like, that's, even when I started, like, deeping on people, man, and they're like, oh, you're so mature for your age. I hated it. Because now people will be like, you're so mature for your age. And then when I do things for my age, I get comments like, oh, you're your age. Of course I'm my age. Of course I'm my age. Like, never forget that. I am not mature for my age. We just all have different interests. I have a very deep interest in politics and history. Other people are very interested in skateboarding. Like, I'm not going to know skateboarding the way they know skateboarding because that's their full-time interest. The same way, other people are not going to know politics maybe the way that I know politics. Other people know politics the way I know politics, obviously. But because that's not their everyday interest. So, yeah, I'm not taking a hiatus or anything. I'm still reading about politics. People mustn't think, oh, you're not speaking about it, you're not doing anything about it, babes. No, that's not how life works. I'm just gonna be a social media baddie for now. Baddie aesthetic. For the girls. For the girls, okay? And it was also after that Chidinma thing. Yeah, girl. People were expecting me to be a mouthpiece for their problematic thinking. And they're like, if you're patriotic, then you have to. No, I don't have to. Imagine. And then that's when I realized that to a lot of people, I'm literally just a character. I'm not a real person with my own opinions. I'm just a character that is there to say the words that they aren't brave enough to say out loud with their faces on the internet. So I was like, you know, I need to get out of this pit of being pigeonholed as a character.
For God!
For
But I want
good.
to be clear. I know some of us love our children, but some of our children are so far gone that we're going to have to put some of them to sleep in order to take back the neighborhood. Some of y'all don't want to hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep. For God!
On the corner. I'm not going to be able to psychologize all those on the corner. I like it. I like the way he says the corner. Anyway. Ninjani. So otherwise, Lunalika, how are you choosing your joy as a black girl? I hope you're choosing joy. I hope you're choosing yourself, because I realized this makes me go to sleep. And I needed to go to sleep today. So I hope you guys are choosing your joy, because, yeah. Toni Morrison, man, I'm always gonna quote what she was saying. Like, sometimes you bring me joy. Let's find another song. Joy. Joy. There's the Soil song that has joy in it. Anyway, like, black girl joy is like, I don't know, going out with your friends, just speaking to them on the phone, getting your hair done. You know how your face changes when you get oh guys, these blonde braids. I've been living for them, but I'm getting a bit of anxiety now that I have to find a hairstylist to do my hair in London. But I don't think the London girls be having problems with their hairstylists like that. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know. And then London. What was I gonna say? You know, speaking to your friends, meeting new black girls, that's always the highlight of my travels, like meeting other black girls. Like I've been meeting a lot of black girls in London, which reminds me I need to be outside, bro. I haven't made friends. I've made a class friend. I've made 2 class friends, but I haven't made like tight as a booty hole, you know, locked in friends. And I want that. Like I want to have a friend in every corner of the world. No, I'm not making friends just that you can be my friend for this corner, but just making friends, because I love connecting with people. I love meeting new people. I love seeing the world through other people's eyes. And right now I've been able to see London through my eyes as a tourist, but I want to see it through the eyes of like black British people and what they've been able to achieve here. But anyway, I like black girl joy because I think it's what we deserve. I don't think it's what we deserve. I know it's what we deserve. I love black girl joy because you know how nice it is to be happy, guys. Do you know how nice it is to be happy? Like, to fully, like, yee! Woo! Right now I've just been a bit anxious because of how I ruined a friendship that I wasn't looking at because I didn't take time to analyze my surroundings. But being happy, being content, yeah. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. I'm actually going to sleep. I don't know why I was putting lip gloss on, but this is from Pat McGrath. I'm loving this combo. I just don't like the smell of this lip gloss. It reminds me of this other YSL perfume that my sister anyway.